These days, some shows rise, fall, and come back like they never left. Futurama lived that cycle more than once. It had the brains, the heart, and a voice all its own.
Can I ask you a question?
Just ask the question.
What's with the eye?
I'm an alien, all right? Let's drop the subject.
Cool, an alien.
But somehow, it never managed to stay in one place for too long. It didn't start out that way. In the beginning, Futurama was sharp, weird, and way ahead of its time. So why couldn't it hold on? And why do fans still refuse to let it go?
Now what do you want to do about that unidentified ship?
Destroy them! Let's get a nice feel to it.
Let's break down how a cartoon about the future kept crashing in the present, and why fans still aren't ready to say goodbye.
Eat my shorts.
Okay. Shorts.
The birth of Futurama.
What the?
Back to the year 1999. Matt Groening had already won the cartoon game. The guy gave us The Simpsons and could have kicked back and done nothing for the rest of his life. But no, he wanted more. He wanted spaceships, cryopods, and a one-eyed mutant lady who could break your nose in one punch. That's how Futurama was born. It wasn't just some goofy space cartoon. It was smart. It had jokes about quantum physics right next to fart jokes.
They're checking the electron microscope, and the winner is number 3 in a quantum finish.
No fair! You change the outcome by measuring it.
It made you laugh and then randomly made you feel things. This wasn't just TV. This was what if the Jetsons had an existential crisis type of stuff. But when Groening pitched the show to Fox, things got weird fast. He wanted full creative control. Fox, on the other hand, wanted to make sure nobody's grandma would complain. There was tension from the jump. They fought about everything from suicide booths to lobster doctors with zero medical knowledge. Still, Fox gave the green light. The pilot aired, people were curious, and it pulled in solid numbers. It's not record-breaking, but it's enough to get the buzz going. The early reviews were mixed. Some critics just didn't get it. Others said it was too smart for its own good. But fans saw something special.
Get a job, you lazy kids! I guess if you want children beaten, you have to do it yourself.
This wasn't just The Simpsons in space. This was something we hadn't seen before. A cartoon with brains, jokes, and a weird amount of feelings. Futurama had landed. But even in its first steps, the ground was already shaky. Still, first impressions didn't tell the whole story. What came next proved why Futurama deserved attention. What made it so good?
Hey, get a load of this pathetic 20th century TV!
What's wrong with it?
Well, aside from causing eye cancer, these things had a lousy low-definition picture.
Futurama wasn't like other cartoons. The show had brains, heart, and a robot who ran on alcohol.
Hey, buddy! I'm looking for fresh slug.
Yellow or purple?
Whatever.
The purple one causes terrible nightmarish diarrhea.
Yeah, either one's fine.
That's not just a fun mix. That's chaos with purpose. Futurama stood out because it was smart about being annoying. You'd get a time travel joke followed by a pun about Schrodinger's cat. Half the time, you didn't even catch the reference until 5 minutes later, or 5 years later if you weren't paying attention in science class. But somehow it all worked. Then there were the characters. Fry wasn't just the dumb guy. He had a past, he had feelings, and sometimes he even had decent ideas. Leela wasn't your typical tough chick. She was lost, lonely, and still trying to be strong. And Bender was a walking disaster with no morals. Yet you still wanted him to win. But here's what really made the show different. It could punch you in the gut out of nowhere. Jurassic Park, the luck of the Fryrish, you're laughing 1 minute, and suddenly you're staring at the screen like someone just ran over your childhood.
Come on, come on! Hey, Leela, how about a kiss for good luck? I meant tongue luck.
These episodes didn't just tell jokes, they told stories that stuck with you. Unlike shows that relied on random skits, Futurama used real stories. It didn't need to cut away to a chicken fight or a celebrity cameo. It had a full world and let the weirdness happen inside it. It was both fun and clever, but most of all, it cared. That's what made it gold.
We lost Bender.
There! Now no one will be able to say I don't own John Larroquette's spine.
Sadly, being great doesn't always mean being safe. The first fall. Just when things were getting good, Fox pulled the plug. There was no warning, no goodbye, they just cancelled. Like your favorite restaurant shutting down the night before your birthday. It didn't matter that critics loved it, or that the stories were getting better, or that people actually cried during episodes about fossilized dogs. What mattered to Fox were numbers, and Futurama's ratings weren't breaking records. Mostly because Fox kept moving it around like it was playing hide and seek with its own viewers. One week it aired on a Tuesday, the next week it was Sunday, then it vanished for 3 weeks because football ran long. If someone missed a new episode, they probably didn't even know one aired. Fox didn't promote it, and they didn't back it. It was like they wanted it to fail without saying it out loud. So in 2003, after 4 full seasons of building something special, it just stopped. No big send-off, no proper ending. It faded out slowly like the writers didn't even get a chance to say goodbye. Fans didn't take it well, and honestly, who could blame them? It felt like the network pulled the rug out while everyone was still laughing. But Futurama wasn't done. New people found it and old fans rewatched it. It hit different late at night when you were half asleep, and Fry was crying about his brother. The world started paying attention, just a little too late. It wasn't gone from our hearts. It just had to wait in the shadows, waiting for someone to give it another shot. The revival era. But Futurama wasn't finished yet.
Bender, think of the senoritas.
Vámonos!
Most shows die and stay dead. Futurama didn't get that memo.
Women go free. Men stay in chains.
After Fox dropped it, fans refused to let it go. They wrote letters, made noise online, and bought DVDs like it was their job. Bender's Big Score and the other movies didn't just sell well. They proved people still care. Those straight-to-DVD films weren't perfect, but they brought the gang back, and that was enough. It felt like visiting an old friend who hadn't changed much, except now they were living in your TV stand. The buzz around the movies got louder, and eventually, Comedy Central decided to bring the show back for real. In 2010, Futurama returned with brand new episodes, and for a while, it felt like the old magic was still there. Fry was still clueless, Bender was still a mess, Leela still had that sharp mix of confidence and heartbreak. The jokes hit, the stories had weight, and fans were ready to believe the show could thrive again.
You know, it's funny.
What?
You're a wiener!
But cracks started to show. Some episodes felt off. The writing leaned harder on gross-out gags. Characters drifted away from who they used to be. Bender stopped being lovable and just became loud. Fry got dumber. Leela seemed stuck in the same loop every season. It wasn't all bad. Some episodes were genuinely great, but the balance started to slip. You could feel it.
Fry, listen to yourself. You've been brainwashed.
No, I'm just trying to fit my diction to the importance of what I'm saying. Please, let me speak.
The show was trying to evolve, but in the process, it lost a bit of what made it so easy to love in the first place. Second fall and series end. Again, it vanished into the void. It felt like deja vu, but worse the second time. After all the fights to bring Futurama back, it was gone again in 2013. Stuck around long enough to stay safe. Every time it picked up steam, something dragged it back down. One big reason was the networks. Fox never treated it right. They shuffled it around the schedule like it was an afterthought. One week it aired, next week it disappeared. Even when it came back on Comedy Central, it never felt like the network was all in. It was treated more like a side project than a headline show. The truth is, Futurama never really had a home. Not like The Simpsons, which became part of the furniture at Fox. Futurama moved around too much, changed time slots, switched networks. It was like watching someone try to build a house during a windstorm. Another thing, the show was smart. Maybe too smart for its own good. Not every viewer was looking for math jokes wrapped in sci-fi heartbreak.
Shut up and hear our wisdom! Save the ecosystem!
The blend of science, satire, and emotion didn't always fit the usual animation lineup. It had a specific voice, and sometimes that voice didn't click with the mainstream. The 2023 Hulu revival. A new hope or just another loop?
Oh, fuff! I don't get all up in your business when you upgrade your bazooms.
That's because my bazooms don't put anyone's life in danger.
Yep, they brought it back. Again. You'd think that after 2 cancellations and 1 emotional finale, Futurama would finally rest. But nope, in 2023, Hulu rolled in like that one friend who keeps saying just one more round after the party's already over. And suddenly, Futurama was alive again. The gang's all here, same voices. It has the same animation style. It's the same Planet Express ship crashing into things like it never left. On the surface, everything feels familiar. That's part of the charm. Fry's still confused, Bender's still terrible, and Leela's still the only one with a working brain. But not everyone's sold. Some fans were hyped, others weren't so sure. They wondered if it was going to be something fresh or just the same jokes reheated for a new platform. The first few episodes got mixed reactions. Some moments worked, others felt like they were trying a little too hard to be relevant. And yeah, there's that one lingering question. Is this about finishing the story or just another way to squeeze out a few more paychecks? It's not easy to tell. Nostalgia is powerful, but it can also be a trap. People want the magic back, but not if it means watching the same formula over and over again. So now we wait and see. Is this the comeback that sticks, or just one more ride on the loop of cancelled and revived again? For fans, hope is still there, but so is the fear of deja vu. Legacy and impact.
Hey, Robot, someone left a card in your stocking.
Well, that's weird. Normally I get mail delivered to my ass.
Even if it kept dying, it never really died. Futurama had a habit of vanishing, but somehow it always stuck around. Not on TV, maybe, but in people's heads, in the hearts of fans, in the memes, the quotes, the quiet "shut up and take my money" moments that still pop up everywhere online.
Shut up and take my money!
It earned its place as the thinking person's cartoon, not because it was full of big words or tried to sound smart, but because it didn't dumb things down. It trusted the audience. It mixed space travel with heartbreak. It taught us about time loops and parallel universes, and then broke our hearts with a dog waiting by a pizza shop. Future shows took notes. You can see pieces of Futurama in Rick and Morty, in Solar Opposites, in every animated show that dares to throw in a deep concept or an unexpected emotional punch. Futurama showed that cartoons didn't have to pick between being silly or serious. They could do both, sometimes in the same scene. Even now, people still quote Bender. They still argue about which episode was the saddest. They still pull up clips from The Luck of the Friarish when they want to feel something at 2 a.m. Futurama didn't just entertain, it stayed with people. Long after the last episode aired, the stories, the characters, and even the weird science jokes kept echoing. It might have fallen more than once, but somehow it never faded away. Futurama is the show that wouldn't die, but maybe that's the point. It jumped timelines. It never stayed still. That was the story. That was the charm. It wasn't perfect, but it meant something, and for a lot of fans, it still does. If you like this breakdown, please make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.